Hey, it's been a minute since I've done an English review. I've been focusing more on my Arabic reviews, but then I'm like, I don't know, because the thing is that I started putting like subtitles on my English reviews. On my Arabic reviews, is put English subtitles, but that's just like, it takes so long. Like, no wonder people charge for this kind of stuff, you know? So I decided to just separate them and just make English reviews and Arabic reviews separately. Anyways, this is a review for Swag by Elmore Leonard. So my first impression upon crossing this novel was that it might just be another crime slash detective type novel and nothing more, like no big deal, it might be just like whatever. And in some sense, it certainly isn't a deep psychological marvel of a novel, nor will it change your life in any substantial way. But it's certainly one hell of a great ride. The story takes place in the 1970s and begins at a Chevy car dealership in Detroit, where the story's two protagonists, if we can call them that, meet. Frank Ryan was at the end of his shift as a car salesman when he catches Ernest Stickley, also known as Stick. This novel is insane, dude. This shit is crazy. It's one of the best novels I've ever read. No, well, most entertaining, one of the most entertaining novels, that's for sure. Anyways, he catches Stick stealing a car off the lot. So Frank decides against testifying on Stick in court. And instead, he decides to form a crime duo to perform armed robbery with him. And it's nothing too crazy. It's your basic supermarkets, bars, liquor stores, gas stations, etc. Now Frank has 10 rules for what makes a good thief, and he reads them to Stick off a collection of table napkins. He has written them on, and they go like this. 1. Always be polite on the job and say please and thank you. 2. Never say more than necessary, less is more. 3. Never call your partner by name unless you use a made-up name. 4. Never look suspicious or like a bum and dress well. 5. Never use your own car. 6. Never count the take in the car. 7. Never flash money in a bar or with women. 8. Never go back to an old bar or a hangout once you have moved up. 9. Never tell anyone your business and never tell a junkie even your name. 10. Never associate with people known to be in crime. And what makes this novel special is that it actually flies somewhere between humor and seriousness, all of which is played in the back and forth between the main characters, Frank and Stick. Think of Pulp Fiction or of any Tarantino's movies. It's just a mix of brilliant dialogue and action segments that blend moronic logic with a philosophy of live in the here and now. And it all comes together to form a very unique writing style and a great crime novel. Elmore Leonard was an American short story writer and a screenwriter. His earliest novels published in the 50s were westerns, but he went on to specialize in crime fiction and thrillers, many of which have been adapted into movies. And he was known to develop characters through dialogue, and it's so evident here in Swag. The dialogue is top notch, it's scripts, it's like zappy back and forth, like if you know what I mean? Or like arm twisting kind of stuff, pushing each other to do things that they don't really necessarily want to do, accusing each other of crap. It's amazing. And it's funny that I'm reading this, or that I've read this book recently, because I was just binge watching videos of people driving in downtown Detroit. You know, one of these like walking tour videos, but this guy was driving around, and I guess this book popped up. And I'm familiar with the city of Detroit through its iconic sports teams, the Detroit Pistons, the Red Wings, which I'm a big fan of, you know. And you cannot not know Detroit if you watch the NBA, because or know anything about the history of hockey or the NBA, because the city has like iconic sports teams, the Bad Boy Pistons, the Red Wings in the 90s, you know, crazy stuff. Like the Red Wings, I think between 1990 and 2015 or something like this, or I'm not sure when exactly. Anyways, they went through a 20-year streak of every year being in the playoffs. And I think their last Stanley Cup was in 2008. Anyhow, so I'm kind of familiar with the city of Detroit because of its sports teams. And Detroit is Elmore Leonard's hometown, or he lives very close to Detroit. And through its gritty attitude and sense of lurking danger as he describes it, it does come off as the perfect setting for a crime novel that comes off as being surprisingly realistic. Both Stick and Frank are written in a way that punches through any perceived distance that you usually encounter in third-person narratives. And it makes the reader feel like he's a participating agent in the events. Frank and Stick are written so well that they start to feel like an old married couple after a while. I mean, the bickering gets super serious between them. But in a good way. In a way that you would want to read and you engage with it, and makes them feel like more like real characters, like real people who are just, insane criminals. And for a long time they stick to the rules, and more or less things work out. But then things start to go wrong. Guns get fired. They start to break their own rules. And they get involved in things they should have stayed away from. Great crime novel, I think. I laughed out loud many times while reading this book, like out loud, like it's hilarious. And I managed to go through the whole thing in a day. It's an easy read. It's not difficult to read this book at all. You can just blast your way through it, If you're into crime novels and action films and want a fresh take on it, or you want to read something that is very similar to Quentin Tarantino movies, read this book. It's written in the 1970s, and the events of the story, all of it takes place in the 1970s, and it just makes the novel that much better. And I've read that the way kind of like the dialogue and the kind of profanity used in it, it was like unusual for the time. So Elmore Leonard was kind of pushing the envelope with his crime novels. Anyways, awesome book. Definitely read it if you want something fun and enjoyable but really well written at the same time. Anyways, this has been Isa. Thank you for watching this review. If you haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button and share this video, click the like button and all that good stuff. And I hope to see you guys very soon. And I will try to kind of put more English content as well, because that whole translating stuff, translating Arabic into English, it takes so much time. It's not even worth it. It's better for me to just film Arabic reviews and English reviews independently. Anyways, I'll catch you guys very, very soon.